politicians come together and forge a consensus on the conditions of life that will empower people to find their own fulfillment. It seems to me that we cannot move forward on a planet if we do not come to some rough consensus on what these broad rights are. Beyond that, we must find ways to secure these goods for everyone on our planet while simultaneously discussing, arguing, and sharing our particular understandings of God and God's call for how we are to live our lives. Now, there are many different ways that communities of faith and governments can contribute to nurturing this second conversation. There are profound gaps in the mutual understanding, not only between major faiths, but also between nations populated by these faiths. Governments possess resources to sponsor educational exchanges, to make it easier for students to study abroad, to create venues for mutual intellectual collaboration and exploration. We also need to recognize that dialogue is not enough. We have to learn to match it with action and treat each other with respect. Napoleon, for example, arrived in Egypt declaring his love and respect for the Muslim religion and even hinting that he himself was eager to become a Muslim. And then he pillaged the country. It's not good enough to talk a good game. Our actions must foster coexistence as well. And I happen to believe very deeply, as do many of my colleagues in government, that for many of us that will begin by putting the Middle East peace process in its comprehensiveness back on center stage and working as a legitimate, honest broker between all parties in order to right everybody's grievance. I believe that our shared ethics must also expand to embrace a duty to engage, to learn from, and at least to try to understand each other. I've been thinking recently that along with the Hajj to Mecca, there ought to be another pilgrimage somewhere else, perhaps Jeddah, who knows, but a place where people of all faiths could join together and pray in their own ways for the enduring health of our planet and its people. All religions today include their moderate and their extreme elements, those who value peaceful coexistence and those who don't. It's up to each of us to work within our faith communities and between them to push people toward expressing their beliefs in a manner that is compatible with a peaceful world. Gandhi said, "You must be the change you want to see in the world." We all want to see a great deal of change. Somewhere between religious war and religious harmony, the love that each of our faiths command in tolerance, acceptance of other people's freedom to believe is essential. I am so impressed and so grateful to A Common Word for not merely longing for a better dialogue, but for standing up and delivering one. We've come here together to make an honest effort at understanding, and when you do, whatever your faith, I am convinced you are doing God's work. My ancestor, John Winthrop, saw his colony in Massachusetts as a city upon a hill, as I said, an example to teach others how to live an ideal life. And today, it's up to all of us to build that kind of city on a hill, one that can't be walled off, one where those who disagree are not locked up in shackles or exiled into the wilderness. We still need to set an example for the world. We have lessons to teach humanity. Only now the lesson is we must love one another or die. We must learn how to love our faiths and live them side by side. In the 21st century, that will be our city on a hill. May God bless you all, and thank you for the privilege of sharing these thoughts with you.